Love gets messy when it becomes a form of control. That's what attachment does. It starts as connection, then quietly turns into expectation, possession, and fear. You want to hold on. You want to feel safe. You want them to stay the same, give the same, respond the same. And when they don't, you panic. That panic isn't about love. It's about losing control over something you thought you could manage emotionally. Loving without attachment means letting go of the need to control the outcome. You're no longer measuring love by how close someone stays or how often they meet your needs. You're choosing to care without turning it into a dependency. That doesn't mean becoming cold or distant. It means you stop using love as a survival strategy. Most people don't love clearly. They confuse attachment with affection. If someone pulls away, they collapse. If someone changes, they take it personally. That's not love. That's emotional outsourcing. You're not actually connecting. You're managing anxiety through another person. And the moment they stop giving you what you expect, you start spiraling. That's a sign you weren't loving from stability. You were coping. The way out of that pattern starts with being honest. Ask yourself, what am I really looking for when I say I want love? If the answer is safety, reassurance, identity, or distraction, then what you're building is emotional dependency, not intimacy. Loving without attachment means you've taken responsibility for those needs. You've built your emotional baseline without relying on someone else to keep it steady. You're not needing someone to stay in order to feel secure. You're choosing to be present, even if the outcome is uncertain. That's the test. Can you love someone without needing to possess them? Can you be close without becoming controlling? Can you care without needing constant proof in return? This doesn't mean ignoring your needs. It means learning to meet them without weaponizing your presence, your silence, or your affection. It also means giving other people room to grow, even if that growth shifts the dynamic. If your love depends on someone staying exactly the same, it's not a relationship. It's a comfort zone. When love turns into a demand, it stops being real. The need to monitor, fix, or shape someone into your version of love is rooted in insecurity, not connection. If someone needs space, give it. If someone pulls back, let them. If someone changes, let that happen without assuming it's a personal attack. The reality is, love without attachment feels boring at first, because there's no chaos, no drama, no highs and lows to chase. You're not playing emotional chess just to feel secure, but long-term, it's the only kind that lasts. The kind that doesn't exhaust you. The kind that doesn't punish or manipulate. The kind that's built on presence, not pressure. That kind of love starts when you stop needing the other person to behave a certain way just to regulate your own emotions. Loving without attachment takes practice. It's not just about theory. It's about how you show up every day, especially when things feel uncertain. The first shift is this. You stop assuming someone else's behavior determines your worth. If they're distant, it doesn't mean you failed. If they're quiet, it doesn't mean something's wrong with you. If they don't choose you, it doesn't mean you're not enough. That kind of thinking is emotional gambling. You hand your sense of value to someone else and hope they handle it well. Loving clearly means you don't play that game anymore. Next, you stop using guilt or pressure to keep someone close. You don't make them feel bad for having boundaries. You don't weaponize silence when you're upset. You don't need to create emotional debt for your care to feel justified. If the only way you feel secure is by pulling strings behind the scenes, you're not in a relationship, you're in a power struggle. Loving without attachment means you stop trying to win. You stop needing to be needed. Instead, you focus on showing up honestly, consistently, and without a hidden agenda. This also means you stop measuring the strength of the relationship by intensity. Intensity is not intimacy. Intensity is usually a trauma response, a sign that something inside you is still trying to feel significant. You don't need chaos to feel close. You don't need anxiety to feel alive. You don't need someone else's constant reassurance to feel emotionally full. Real connection doesn't require constant proving. It requires space to breathe. Loving without attachment also means you stop confusing control with care. If someone asks for time, you respect it. If someone says no, you hear it. If someone is different from you, you don't try to fix them. You allow people to have their own experience without needing to manage it. That doesn't mean you disconnect emotionally. It means you stop thinking your presence entitles you to influence every part of their process. There's a difference between being in someone's life and trying to run it. Let people grow. Let people process. Let people leave if they need to. When love comes with conditions, it turns into negotiation. But if you're practicing non-attached love, you're not giving affection as leverage. You're not measuring your effort to see if it's being matched minute by minute. You're giving from fullness, not fear. You're showing up because it aligns, not because you're hoping for a return. That return may come, or it might not. And you're okay either way, because the love wasn't a transaction. Another important habit: stop trying to predict and protect yourself from every possible loss. Attachment will have you analyzing texts, planning exit strategies, bracing for betrayal that hasn't happened. You'll spend more time preparing for the end than enjoying what's real. And eventually, you create the exact disconnection you were afraid of. Love without attachment says, I'll be here today fully. Not halfway. Not with backup plans. Not with armor on. You take off the armor. Not because there's no risk, but because the person you become when you stop living in defense mode is worth it. That kind of presence is rare, and people feel it. You're not smothering. You're not performing. You're not afraid to be still. You're not auditioning for love you already deserve. Loving without attachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're finally strong enough not to control what you can't keep. You care without clinging. You give without tracking. You let people be who they are without needing them to make you feel whole. And when it's time to leave, if it ever is, you do so with clarity, not bitterness. You don't burn it all down just to feel powerful. You don't beg or chase just to avoid the silence. You let things close with the same dignity you gave them while they were open. Final thought. Love is not about ownership. It's not a contract to be managed. It's not a job to protect you from being alone. It's not something you're entitled to control. It's something you offer fully, without a leash. When you stop attaching your identity to who stays or who responds, you're finally free to love from a place that doesn't cost your peace. That's the real win.